Okay, fresh squeezed lime juice. Now, it may surprise you to hear that there's a category of ceviche-like dishes in Mexico that are pretty much as popular as a regular ceviche. And the class is called aguachile, or water with chili in it, but it's really not water, it's lime juice. And this is the way I describe it to people. It's usually thinly cut raw seafood that is doused with a seasoned spicy lime juice mixture. And I'm inviting you today into LENA BRAVA's kitchen. That's our restaurant that focuses on seafood. And I'm going to show you how we make a classic scallop aguachile. So our first step is to make that spicy broth, and I'm going to do it in a blender jar. I'll put the fresh squeezed lime juice in there. Then I need to peel a cucumber, cut it up, and add that to the blender jar too. Next will be the spicy element. That's a serrano chili. Just take the stem end off of it. Chop that up. We'll add that to the blender jar, along with a good amount of salt. This is a finished, seasoned broth. There's no other seasoning really in this broth. And a little pinch of sugar that helps balance some of the acidity. Top goes onto the blender, and then we blend it till it's smooth. That cucumber that's in there isn't necessarily classic in an aguachile broth, but I think it makes a real refreshing flavor there as well. So pour it through a fine mesh sieve, pressing to get everything that you can through. Now, the next thing that I need to do is to thinly slice some red onion and some serrano chili, cut up another cucumber and some avocado, and pick some leaves of cilantro. Now on to the seafood. We have these really beautiful dry pack sea scallops. Those are the really large ones, and they really taste like scallop. I think a lot of people have never tasted the true taste of scallop, and boy, when you get this, it's so rich, so full of flavor. I'm gonna take a couple of these and put them onto the board so that I can slice them thinly. Have to be very gentle with this. Now we're ready to build the plate. So put our plate here, and then we're going to put the scallops in a ring around the bottom of the plate here. Then dot it with all of the ingredients that we already have prepared here. Now here we take a little lesson from the people in the bar, and we're going to use a cocktail shaker, measure in about 1.5 ounces. This is really sounding a lot like it's a mixed drink or something here. 1.5 ounces of the spicy lime juice mixture. Add a big piece of cilantro, a couple of pieces of the red onion, and a couple of pieces of serrano. Now here I have a muddler, like you would use if you were making a mojito, and you're gonna crush up all of the solids, the cilantro, the onion, and the serrano into that broth. Take that out. Add a couple of pieces of ice to it. This is going to chill it down and make it really refreshing. Get the secured top right on there, and then just shake it a little bit to chill it, to mix those flavors. Take the top of it off, and then just pour it over all of that beauty that's on the plate. That you have a LENA BRAVA classic aguachile. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make a really classic ceviche and then turn it into something sort of unexpected. It's actually going to be a cross between a classic ceviche and a Bloody Mary. I think this stuff is really delicious. So to make that classic ceviche base, we've cut up already a pound of fish. This is albacore tuna. I think it makes absolutely delicious ceviche, and it's something that you can find around. I have some finely diced red onion to put in with the chopped up fish. Cover it with fresh lime juice, and I like to make sure that there's enough lime juice here that the fish floats freely in it, just like that. And for albacore tuna, my preferred amount of time to marinate the fish in the fresh squeezed lime juice is 20 minutes. So I'm going to set this aside and let that marinate just in and of itself. This Bloody Mary base that we're going to add to that starts in an unconventional way as well. I'm going to start with some clam juice. Okay, so just a bottled clam juice, and put that into a pot over heat. I'm using an induction burner here. And this is the really unconventional part of this. This is the dashi makings, the stuff that is powdered for making dashi. So if you don't know what dashi is, it's the absolute most ubiquitous kind of broth that is used in Japanese cooking. And it's made from kelp or seaweed and bonito, which is a smoked cured fish. Okay, so this is already sounding kind of unusual here, but it really adds a jam-packed deliciousness to the base of this Bloody Mary. You may even want to try this when you're just making regular Bloody Marys. I need a couple of tablespoons of this, and it looks sort of granulated. Put that into the clam juice. This is what they say creates the biggest impact of umami, that flavor of deliciousness. So we're going to let that come to a simmer, and then we're going to let it cool down. While that's going, measure tomato juice. I've got a couple of cups that I'm going to need for the base of this Bloody Mary. That goes in there. Season it with 3 tablespoons of lime juice, couple of tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, and a tablespoon of Mexican hot sauce. Stir that all around. Our dashi and clam broth has now come to a simmer. I'm going to let that cool down, and then when it's cool, I'll stir it in. And now we're ready to tip off the lime juice from the ceviche. Just going to tip it off like that. I don't want to drain it too much. I want just a tiny bit of it left in the bottom. Okay. This unfortunately isn't powerful enough to make a second batch of ceviche with. Okay. The other ingredients that are going to go in to finish this classic ceviche are cilantro, cucumbers, and some green manzanilla olives. That gets stirred together, seasoned with some salt, and we're ready to plate our kind of crazy ceviche Bloody Mary combination here. And I'm going to crust the exterior of our ceviche glass with a mixture here of celery salt and guajillo powder. I've got a lime here that is cut so that I can moisten the rim of the glass. and then put it down in the guajillo celery salt. Fill it with some of our ceviche. Pour on the Bloody Mary mix, and then top it with some microgreens. Now, here's the kicker. We serve it with a little shot of our house mezcal. And the idea is this. You can add it to the ceviche Bloody Mary and make a kind of boozy version of it, or you can just sip it alongside.